Welcome to Introduction to Game Development. This is Computer Science 303 at Missouri State University. My name is Matthew, and I'll be showing you how to use UDK. Now, as always, I preface my tutorial with the disclaimer that I am not an expert. So, to begin with, let's go ahead and get the latest version of our map and copy it over to our maps shortcut here in our content directory. I will paste it and copy and replace, and we'll go ahead and open up the editor. Now, so far we've talked about setting the game type, adding brushes, materials, static meshes, terrain, simple triggers, movers, emissive lights, material instance constants, using the camera in a directors group in Matinee. And so we have most of the tools we need now to build our levels, architecture, and the movable bits for cinematics and whatnot. But so far, our level has been completely empty of enemies. Go ahead and open up here. It's been completely empty of enemies, and it's really been, we've been building a ghost town so far, and your player's just been wandering around lonely and all by himself. So that brings us to today's topic, which is all about enemy spawns and pathing. And just to begin with, let's start off by just adding a path node. So anywhere you like, go ahead and right-click, add actor, add path node. And I'll go into what path nodes are here in just a moment, but we're just going to go ahead and use this to start off with. And now, while you have this selected, let's open up Kismet. You can see we have our previous Kismet scripts that we've done in the other labs, our Hello World, our third-person camera, our door movement, and our lights, which we finished up last time. And while we have this path node selected, let's go ahead and right-click and a new object variable using path node 0. I'll zoom in on it now. Okay. So now, since we have that in there, we need to put in a factory. So let's go to, let's see here. If you don't already have a level loaded event, go to new event and create level loaded. And we'll use this so it'll start spawning bots immediately. And now we need to go to new action, new actor, and then actor factory. And it's a rather big box here. We have a lot of different connectors on here. Don't be intimidated though. And now we will connect the spawn point right here on our actor factory to that path node that we just built into the level. We'll take this loaded invisible output on the level loaded event and connect it to this actor factory spawn actor input. Now, we've created the actor factory, but it doesn't know what kind of actors it should be creating yet. So if you select that actor factory and look down here in your properties, I'll go ahead and maximize this here. Now in our properties, under factory it says none, right? So when you look over here, create a new object. It's the downward facing arrow there. Let's go ahead and click that. It's going to bring up a big long list of different kinds of actors that it might be able to create. And what we want is the UT Actor Factory AI. So now it knows what it should create. And under pawn class, we need to set this. Under pawn class, we want to select UT pawn. Now we'll be adjusting some of these properties here in just a moment, but for now let's go ahead and you see where it says give default inventory. Let's go ahead and select that so our enemy starts off with a gun at least. And with this basic setup now, let's go ahead, close Kismet, and we want to build paths, and we'll play. And so we're in our level, and I'll open the door to where our path node was. And there's an enemy right here. He's not a very smart enemy, he's just kind of hanging out. I'm standing right in front of him, teasing him, taunting him, and I can shoot him and kill him. He didn't put up much of a fight though, right? So let's make his behavior a little more realistic. Now, the simplest way to actually get him moving and actually responding to our presence at the least, let's go ahead and open up Unreal Kismet, and then back to our actor factory. You can see the first option under factory in the properties here is Force Deathmatch AI. And let's go ahead and select that. And right away now, he should respond to our presence. So I'll come up to the door, hit the button. He doesn't see us yet. I'm just kind of sneaking up behind him. Oh, and he saw us, and here he goes. And notice he's not really running around though. He's just kind of standing in one spot. And I'm lagging out, so he'll probably kill me. But, oh, and he got me. But even though he's responding to our presence at least now, he is not running around or trying to evade us, or if we ran away, he wouldn't be able to follow us. So we have this one path node that we put in where he's beginning. Let's add some more path nodes so that he can move around a little bit more. So right click, add actor, add path node, right click, add actor, add path node, and you can just kind of go hog wild with these. Put them just about anywhere you might think it would be useful to have one. And right here. And even outside the door, we can put some out in this main area here. Now there are some things you should know about when you place these path nodes. See, level designers will use path nodes in our levels on any surfaces that NPCs can walk on, or in volumes which NPCs can swim in even. And player starts, they're also similar in that basically like both path nodes and player starts are children classes of what they call navigation points. So the navigation point is essentially a parent class for both, and they can and that allows them both to have properties that allow them to function similarly. In addition, there are also inventory spots, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But whenever we build our pathing, and I'll continue building some more path nodes here, whenever we build our pathing, we'll be able to see a network of lines connecting them. So we got, let's add one more here. So we've got all these path nodes here. I think about 5 in the center room and 5 in the room where the enemy spawns. And now let's go ahead and build paths. Right away, as soon as we did that, you saw this network of lines connecting them. And something that's kind of interesting also is you'll notice some of them might have different colors. Most of these are white. This one is blue though. And in here we do have another blue one as well. And just to talk about what the coloring means, if it's orange, it means that your enemy has, or that the enemy has to be flying in a vehicle to make it to that path node. Light orange is also a flying path. It's a wider availability. So like basic orange is just a narrow pathway. Light orange is a wide passageway. Light purple means that it will require a high jump, higher than normal jump capability, in order for it to reach it. And you can actually adjust the gravity settings in your level in the same place that we set up our game type earlier. Blue path means it's a narrow path. Green is that it has a normal width. White means a wide path, which means it has plenty of room to move through to get from point to point. Pink means that there's extremely wide path, so it has even more free range there. Yellow is a forced path, and purple, it's essentially an advanced path. It requires intelligence to be used, and I don't know that we'll actually be getting into how to activate those. And if it's a red path, then that indicates it's one way, which is to say that if the enemy's on one side, it can make it to the other side, but it won't be able to make it back. And that's really all just a matter of where you have set the path nodes and what the geometry of your level is like. And also, let's see here. Okay, and let's go ahead and play this. And if we come up, there's our enemy. He's running around between all the path nodes looking for us, and there he sees us, and we'll see if he can make it out the door. Oh, no. And so you want to be careful also, because we don't have any path nodes right next to the door. So if we put one right next to the door, add actor, add path node, and then we can build pathing. And we'll see if he can make it out there now. Come up, open the door, here he is. Take pop at him. Here he comes. I'll hide behind the wall, see if he comes out. Oh, I saw his gun at the door for a moment. He can't open the door himself. He might have given up. But you can see he's at least moving around now, and you can adjust your path nodes or add more path nodes as you see fit in order to get him to path where you want him to. Another thought also is that if you have a lot of sharp corners for like a room that's in your level, you want to make sure you put a path node at each corner so that he can make it around the building. Now, to also further demonstrate what the Deathmatch AI is accomplishing for us, that we set here, Force Deathmatch AI, it means that basically every bot is in it for himself. So if he sees other bots, then he'll also attack them. And I'm going to increase the spawn count quite a bit just so we can see how multiple bots interact together. It might cause some error messages while we're playing, though, because this is normally how you would want to do this, in that anytime it tries to add a bot from a spawn point where there's already a bot standing, it'll give you an error message saying that it couldn't add it. But so long as they've moved off the spot in time, then it should spawn another one. So let's say this path node can generate 30 enemies. And we'll make it so there's at least a 3-second wait before the next one spawns. And that way, hopefully, the guy on top has moved out of the way by then. And we will rebuild pathing. And you'll notice whenever you rebuild the pathing, sometimes it'll say path node, whatever number, is unnecessary and should be removed. That's just to say it was more than you needed, and you can just get rid of it. So whenever you see this in the warnings, you can select it and go to. It shows you which one it is, and we'll go ahead and just delete it. And we'll build pathing again. And okay, now all of our path nodes are being used. So now I'll close this and play. And oh, there we go. And so now we're playing. I come up to the door, and now there's a whole bunch of enemies in here. Notice they're all just named player. If we go back into Kismet, back under our properties, under pawn name, you can name it whatever. I'll name mine Daryl. So now coming back in, you can see him, and oh, and I killed Daryl, and here's his brother Daryl coming to get me. Here we go. Oh, and he's behind me. They're both behind me, Daryl and Daryl. Okay. It's important to note with these path nodes that they should be less than 1,200 Unreal units apart. If you're messing with the Unreal script, then you can change this value to where one of the variables in your game is the max path distance, and you can adjust that in Unreal script. But if you're only working within UDK itself, then every path node has to be at least 1,200 units apart, or else it just won't be able to connect to it. On the other hand, having two path nodes too close together, that will cause a lot of bugs in the AI to where the enemy will just kind of get stuck between the two path nodes. And specifically, you don't want to ever have two path nodes that are overlapping each other. And in general, you're going to want to move those path nodes around until after you've built the pathing, you can see white or pink lines connecting all of the path nodes that you've built in. And so going back up into Kismet, we have our actor factory, and it's going off of this path node, and it's coming up whenever the level's loaded. But this factory is producing multiple enemies, right? However many you set it for the spawn count. And maybe you want something to happen when enemies from this factory die. And so let's talk real quick about some stuff you can set up in Kismet here to have events triggered off of any death of any enemy that comes out of this factory. So to begin with, under, let's see, we want a new, under spawned here on the actor factory, we're going to right click that and say create new object variable. And notice whenever we created that, it created this little circle here with 3 question marks in it, which is to say it's basically just a container for the objects, for the actors that are going to be created. And so it will hold whatever actors are spawned. And it's not referring to any specific individual spawn from this factory, but for all spawns from this factory. Now we want right click, new event, and then pawn death, and then also new action, and then it's kind of a weird submenu here, but under action there's also a submenu called event, and under event you'll see attach to event. We want one of these. Okay. And now we want to connect the finished from the actor factory, so every time it spawns it will go to this attach to event node, and this this same object that we created from the spawned output on this actor factory, we can also connect that to the attachee on our attach to event. And then under event we can go ahead and just connect this directly to our pawn death node. And so now any Kismet that we put connecting to this out on this pawn death node that we just connected up, it will trigger whenever that occurs. So we don't necessarily want to do anything special right now. In your level you might want to have it so a door opens up when the enemy dies or something. But in this case, let's just go ahead and do a new action, voice announcement, play announcement, and then under announcement text, let's just say, oh no, Daryl's dead. Close that. And we'll connect it from the out to our in on the play announcement. And now let's test it real quick. Closing this. Let's go ahead and build all. I'm not sure if we needed to do that, but we'll do that anyway, just in case. And here we go. Close and play. And now they might start fighting each other, and we'll see it as soon as one of them dies. So there's one. Oh no, Daryl's dead! So now we're getting an event to occur every time one of the enemies from this factory dies. And it'll occur as many times as it needs to. Now, something about these factories, we set this up to spawn actors of the class UT pawn, but there are other kinds of actors that could be used, and that could be used by these factories, that could be created by these factories, more rather. In particular, we could do the exact same setup, and instead of having it spawn a UT pawn, we could have had it spawn a weapon or something like that. There's also other ways to do this. In particular, if you want to put weapon spawns in the level and you don't want to have any special scripting around it, you just want to use the basic setup like you would normally see in an Unreal Tournament level. If you go to the content browser, and then under actor classes, And then under pickups, you'll see the bottom menu here is weapon, and go ahead and select UT weapon pickup factory, and we'll drop one of these in the level. If you right click on it, you can see weapon pickup class is the very first one. And we'll click on that and we'll see 3 different kinds of guns that you might be able to use. And so let's go ahead and do the rocket launcher. So now this spawn point will generate a rocket launcher that we can walk over and pick up at any time. And now there's some other stuff that we can add as well. Like for instance, if you want to have a health pack or health file. So let's just drop a health file in here. And let's right click on its properties just to take a look at it. Okay, here we're good. And then we'll close this and close this. And just to show you it's working, oh, we have to rebuild the pathing. And just to show you it's working, we come in, there's our health file floating up and down. Here's our rocket launcher ready for us to use. Grab that health file, and oh yeah, one of them just got killed inside. So let's kill the other one. Boom! There we go. And that doesn't seem quite fair. Let's give them a rocket launcher too. And so back to content browser, actor classes, and under weapon pickup factory. We'll drop it in there, go to its properties, and oh, let's give him a shock rifle instead. So there's another weapon in there. Come in and play, and of course we have to rebuild pathing. Close it. Here we come. Okay, so it started us at that one point there, but that's just a bug for playing in the editor. So now we all have shock rifles, which they seem to be better at. Okay. Something that's important to note here, though, is after we added these weapon and this health into the level, and we rebuilt the pathing, you can see that now there are networks of lines for the pathing connecting them directly to these pickups. That's to say, if you're in UT Deathmatch and you have any weapons placed anywhere around the level, or any health or shields or any other items that they might pick up, they're automatically incorporated into the pathing network. So any enemy can also reach any weapon that you would normally be able to reach, and anywhere that you might go find a weapon, you are not safe because they will hunt you down there. And so we've put in the path nodes, we've put in the items, we've got enemies spawning. We can do a similar setup with an actor factory for any of these path nodes that we want. And you can also do them with player starts as well. Another thing that we can do with path nodes, though, that is kind of interesting, is we can create jump pads that will allow us to basically select any point in the level that will make it, once you step onto the jump pad, it will basically shoot you over to that path node that you want to go to. So for that purpose here, let's go ahead and let's say let's put a path node right here in front of the door. So add actor path node, and now also let's go to our content browser, and under actor classes we go to navigation, wherever it is, there's navigation, and then UT jump pad. And we'll take this jump pad and let's put it right by this door here. It's the other door on the other side. And so we put that in. Now right click on your jump pad, and the very first option there, UT jump pad properties. Go ahead and click on that. And the first thing it's looking for is the jump target. And okay, there it's looking for the jump target, and we're going to actually have to type in that path node's name. So to know which one we just put in to be our destination, our target there, when I click on it, it is path node 10. So I know that I want it to go to path node 10. So I go back to the jump pad, and under jump target, go ahead and write path node underscore 10. And notice I did that in lowercase, and then when I hit enter, it says path node lab10.world persistent level path node underscore 10. So it was able to find the exact object I was looking for just by that path node 10 that I typed in. So now I'll close this. Oh, and before I close that, actually, you can also adjust the jump time and the air control, and that'll allow you to change the curve of your jump as you approach that destination target. So now I'll go ahead and close this, and we'll rebuild pathing. And close, and now let's go ahead and play. And go back out. Let's play from here. Okay, so now we're out in the middle, and here's our jump pad right there. You can see it's animated, so you can always tell. And then step on it, boom, fly over, and we land right on the path node that we selected. And you can put these all over the level. You can have them flying all over the place. Now, as you're playing with the pathing here, trying to set it up just right for your characters in your level, some console commands might be useful to you. So here, I'll go ahead and play. I'm at my start position. Got my rocket launcher. And now I know there's enemies on the other side of this door fighting right now. And so if I go ahead and hit the tilde key, and we can type view class pawn, and now I'll close the tilde key, and now we are looking from the perspective of whichever pawn it found whenever I was there. So if you only had one in the level, then you would automatically be in that one's perspective. So I'll do that again. View class pawn. And again, here I am, and he just keeps dying. Okay. But then also, another one is, and actually I'll go ahead and set our spawn count down to 1 so they don't kill each other. So going back to Kismet, under Actor Factory, we have, under spawn count, there, okay, spawn count, we'll make that just 1 again. Close this, rebuild pathing, close, and play. So now we can go view class pawn. So now we're in his perspective, just watching him run around. So this is him looking for trouble. And then also we can, back to our command line here, type in show debug, and then turn off the tilde key, and you can see in the top left here is all of the details it's using to decide what it's going to do. So you can take a look at how it's making its decisions in its AI. And then as well, anytime you reach one of the path nodes, you can go to remember spot, click that, and it will keep track of the best path to that most recent path node that it visited. So you can see basically if it wanted to go back to where it came from whenever you selected that command in the command line, that would be the path it would take to get there. And so that gives you a few extra tools there to play around with whenever you're trying to debug the pathing for your enemies. Now, while I'd hoped that they'd be able to get around that door without using any special actors, that wasn't possible for us, but we will be able to do that in our next video when we start doing more advanced work with pathing, specifically to be able to move around doors, to set jump destinations that are outside of the normal range of jumping, and when we start working with lifts and ladders and volume path nodes and so on. And we're also going to try and expand on our enemy's AI beyond just what Deathmatch Ai is capable of. But that will be next time, and for now we have at least the start to be able to work with enemies in our level. and I'll see you next time.